Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I bring to you the best Tigrex weapons guide for all weapon types. The new raw meta with a question mark though. This video analyzes the weapons of the featured boss monster of Season 4, and the Tigrex weapons are raw weapons. And they also currently have one of the highest raw attack values in the game. First, we're going to start off with the list of Tigrex weapons. For the sword and shield, you have the Rex Talon. For the greatsword, you have the Tiger Jawblade. For the longsword, you have the Tigrex Edge. For the hammer, you have the Striped Striker. For the light bowgun, you have the Rex Fusillade. For the heavy bowgun, you have the Tigrex Howl. For the bow, we have the Rex Bow. For the dual blades, you have the Rex Chain. For the lance, you have the Tiger Stinger. For the charge blade, you have the Rex Arm. The gun lance, you have the Tiger Blast. And for the switch axe, you have the Rex Raider. Moving on, we have the Tigrex weapons forge stats. So the Tigrex weapons start at grade 5. Their element is raw, and their base raw attack is 564, with their base elemental attack being not accounted for because it's a raw weapon. And its base affinity is negative 40%. As you upgrade the Tigrex weapons to max, the raw attack will become very high. So yes, you heard that right, negative 40%. If you want to forge these weapons, you need 6 Tigrex scales, which are rarity 1, 8 monster bone mediums, which are rarity 2, 2 Tigrex fangs, which are rarity 3, and 2 Tigrex claws, which are rarity 4. In addition, you need 1500 Zeni. Next up, we have the Tigrex weapons at grade 10.5 max. So here are its stats. Its element, of course, is still raw, and its max raw attack is 2633, with its max elemental attack being non-accounted for because it's a raw weapon. And the max affinity is still negative 40%. But once you max them out, the Tigrex weapons have a ridiculously high attack value. Fun fact, they still lose to Black Diablos at 10.5 if you're just comparing the max raw attack value. In addition, it's going to be a lot of materials because as you see here, here's a grade 10.5 max cost for the Tigrex weapons, and the Tigrex weapons have their own rarity 6 material, the Tigrex plates. In addition, you'll need 25 weapon refining parts and 423,500 Zeni. And from personal experience, assuming you are doubling your rarity 6 materials, you can achieve this result in about 400 to 500 Tigrex, or earlier if you are lucky. This is based off of me having the Gold Zinogre medal and being the world record holder, very likely the world record holder of the Mizutsune one. So I'm very familiar with final bosses and taking them out and getting their weapons to grade 10 point max, as much as time consuming and as much as it hurts and is stressful. And yeah. And that's bound to cause a whole lot of pain and suffering. But when we're talking about pain and suffering, here's the damage. So here are the raw monster types melee base damage comparison when it comes to the Tigrex weapons. And here we take a look at all the raw monster types as of Season 4 Roars of the Winterwind. And as you see per the data, Black Diablos is the strongest. However, Tigrex weapons barely lose to Black Diablos, and Diablos weapons being only about 4% weaker. So yeah, it's really not by a lot. And it's important to note that this only takes into consideration the base damage and not other factors like the critical furiosity skill, etc. So we're not considering full builds here. Full builds, it's just literally the base damage. So before anyone comes at me, this is just base damage. And speaking of critical furiosity, well, we're going to take a look at the raw weapon equipment skills versus the rest. And of course, Tigrex has a critical furiosity skill, which is a super conditional skill. You reduce your weapon's affinity by 10%, but it gives you a small chance of increasing negative affinity damage by 50%. Again, it's a small chance. And your negative affinity isn't going to be at negative 100, so it's a very weird skill. Yeah, it's very weird, but rewarding, not really. Again, super conditional. Black Diablos has the part breaker skill, which is arguably better because it's not a conditional skill. If you're just looking for pure damage, or if you actually want to break parts and get rewards, Black Diablos still does a high enough damage to where it doesn't really matter. And the Diablos weapons have heroics, so it's not as good as the other two, but it makes up for it with sheer damage. So if you don't have the other two, Black Diablos or Tigrex, Diablos can work, and it's not too far behind the other two in certain conditions. And now that we covered melee, here we have range, starting off with the Bowguns. And here's the raw monster type Bowguns base damage comparison. So we're going to take a look at the top ones, the top raw Bowguns as of Season 4 Roars from the Winterwind. So for the light bowguns, the raw light bowguns, Tigrex is the strongest and beats out Magnamalo by 8%, or 7.80% to be exact. And for the raw heavy bowguns, Magnamalo still beats out Tigrex, but it's barely stronger by about 2%, which is 1.84 to be exact. So outside of the light bowgun, that's a pretty good distance, I would say. As far as the heavy bowguns go, not so much. So you don't really need to pivot if you don't want to, or if you really want the Tigrex heavy bowgun, well, there you go. It's close, but it's barely noticeable. So if you really want the Tigrex light bowgun, you can go for it. But before you make a decision on which light bowgun you want to get, we're going to look at the ammo set. So Tigrex and Magnamalo are the top two. So we're going to look at these two top raw light bowguns and compare them. So as we see here, Tigrex does not have any special ammo types, just a sticky and cluster ammo. It's very simple. So you shoot, 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 shoot. Nothing really to look at or nothing fancy. But for Magnamalo, it has more variety with its ammo capabilities. You have sticky ammo as well as cluster bomb. Cluster bomb is a lot of fun to use, and sticky ammo allows you to stun. And this brings us to the next point. Tigrex isn't able to stun due to lack of sticky ammo. However, Tigrex does carry the basic ammo of the game and can be easy to use with no recoil and fast reloads. So it's literally best point and shoot to oblivion. Yeah, you have to consider critical range, but heck, you know what? It has spread, pierce, and normal. So it's just literally bang, 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 bang. Nothing fancy, and you're just going to machine gun it with damage. So that's why the light bowgun potentially does more damage than the rest of the Tigrex stronger than the rest of raw light bowguns, like you saw in the damage comparison. However, it's different when it comes to the heavy bowgun, and here we have the heavy bowgun ammo set versus the rest. So here we have the top three heavy bowguns. You have Magnamalo, Tigrex, and Black Diablos. Now Tigrex has spread ammo and sticky ammo, forcing you to engage at close range for maximum damage. And Magnamalo is kind of the same thing. It has spread ammo, but it has more variety. So it also has slicing and cluster, making it a lot of fun. However, if you don't like all that fanciness, you don't want to deal with close range, Black Diablos is the easiest and safest to use with its double pierce ammo set. Overall, Tigrex loses to Magnamalo and will put you in more danger versus Black Diablos. Well, both of those will put you in danger versus Black Diablos because of their spread ammo. So both of them have spread ammo, forcing you to engage in close range, meaning, guess what? You're vulnerable to those close range attacks. Where in Black Diablos, you can kind of just sit back and start piercing through its skull or whatever you're firing at long range or in like medium range. And last but not least, we have the raw monster type bow based damage comparison. So here we take a look at the top raw monster types of bow as of Season 4 Roars from the Winterwind. As we see for the data, Tigrex is literally 1 point of average damage less than Diablos. And Tigrex lacks a charge level 3 to damage level 4 shot set. So it's not a super weapon. As you see, Tigrex bow is ineligible to be called a super weapon because it doesn't have any special mechanics. So it really isn't new meta or anything. If someone tells you this is new meta, they have no idea what the hell they're talking about. So the Black Diablos bow is still king. So don't disrespect Belos, because Belos is still really, really good and it still beats out the rest. And this brings us to the review of the raw bow ammo set versus the rest. So here we're looking at the bow shots. And Black Diablos bow ammo set has a pierce level 4 at charge level 3, which is 2 blinks. So per this data, Black Diablos is a super weapon. And sadly, Tigrex lacks a spread 3 to damage 4 shot type. And the reason I'm saying spread is because it's also pure spread ammo. All 4 levels are spread, making it risky to use due to forcing you to engage at close range. You can't also charge sidestep quickly due to lack of super weapon ammo set. The reason why spread is able to get away with it when it comes to super weapons is because you can quickly charge sidestep, move out the way, and reposition. You don't have that defensive capability when you have to charge fully to 3 blinks using spread level 4 when it doesn't have that extra So it's not terrible per se, but there's no reason for you to really build the Tigrex bow. That's exactly how it's gonna be when you take out Tigrex. Terrifying, dinosaur, evil. Yeah, I don't miss it. But yeah, overall analysis on the Tigrex weapons. Tigrex weapons are powerful, but they heavily rely on using critical furiosity to maximize their potential. And again, it's a super conditional skill. So Small chance to activate its special, and you have to have a negative affinity. It's a whole bunch of madness, but if you really want to use it, it has potential. And Tigrex wage weapons force close range engagements, making them not ideal. So they're not the best, but, you know, also spread ammo is, it just really depends how comfortable you are with spread. And also take into consideration, again, it's a super conditional weapon because it relies on critical furiosity. Because of that, you're going to have to put negative affinity, and it's kind of technical and also kind of a pain in the booty to really, like, figure out how to use this. Well, it's actually pretty simple. Just maximize your critical furiosity as much as you can, and then hope that it procs. So again, super conditional, and you might not like it because of that. It's not consistent. And in the end, hopefully this guide helps you decide what Tigrex weapon you want to build. The charge blade has impact files, and the gun lance has wide shelling type, so they aren't anything special. Same thing as the other ones. Impact, you get the stun if you use impact files, and wide shelling doesn't do anything particularly special. But I think it's called for normal, it's the wide shelling, I think it's for the spread or something. No, you know, I don't know. But again, the only ones that are really, like, noted are, like, long. Long is the only one that's, like, notable because everyone just uses charge shelling anyways. So it's not like it's super technical anyways. Unless you're actually using Wyvern State Shot, and then you are a G, you are amazing, and you're actually super technical and compared to everyone that's just tap, hold, and shoot. Please do me a huge favor. Like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hopefully you are excited for Tigrex in Season 4. I am. But again, these things aren't a must-have. Definitely if you're using bow, Black Diablos bow is still the king of raw. So if you have that, you don't have to worry about these weapons. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.